What's going on, guys? I'm Yeshaya, this is FireFace Films, and today we're talking about my FX6 rig. But before we do, make sure you drop a like, get subscribed, and click that bell to get notified when we post. Alright, on with the show. Alright guys, so this here is my FX6 rig. It's, there's a lot going on here, we got a lot to break down. So, we'll start from the front end. So, on the front here, we got the Tilta Mirage matte box inherited from my previous builds, because of course it is. It's a reliable matte box that has stuck around. We got ourselves a G Master 24-70 lens. This is pretty, it's 24-70 on full frame. You know what it's about. This has been a very handy lens to use for everything so far. I am definitely looking into what my long range option is going to be. I'm trying to considering if I want to do either the 35-150 or 70-200 equivalent. Still doing some testing with lenses and focal lengths for other stuff to figure out what's going to work for me. But so far, this is pretty good. The autofocus is solid and strong. It's Sony, we all know that. The sharpness is sharp, but not ridiculous like it would be on the XH2S here. That's one thing I've really been enjoying about this camera. It's got such a beautiful image and good color science, which I'm definitely going to be talking about in a separate video because there's a lot of talk about Sony color science, but we're getting in the weeds here. And then going back further, we've got the Tilta base plate with the dovetail receiver here. I don't have any dovetail plates yet because I haven't had a system this big. So soon I will be getting a dovetail head piece for my tripod here. And then going back a little bit further, obviously you've got the inbuilt monitor that comes with the camera, and then still my trusty Atomos Shinobi here. I'm gonna tell you, this thing's getting a little bit long in the tooth. It's gonna be a minute before I upgrade, but I'm probably looking to one of the small HD options. My biggest issue with this monitor, with this build, is purely about where all the ports are, because as you see, the ports for the Shinobi are all the way over here, but the camera ports on the camera are all the way back here. There's a lot going on here, which we'll still talk about. But yeah, it's a very long and stretched cable run, which isn't ideal. And as you see right here, I got this power cable just dangling out the front here. So it's not particularly ideal. I'm still trying to work out how to properly rig this thing for what I have right now. Let me disconnect this grip handle here. Due to the Tilta cage, which, by the way, the cage system rocking for this is Tilta. So the initial Tilta cage that I got did not have the side plate here. And I found out only after I bought it that for another $30 you get the side plate. So I got the side plate, but then it covers the grip receiver for the first party grip. So then I had to go out, get a rosette system and a rosette adapter to turn this into a rosette receiver and all of that. It's a lot of hassle. A lot of hassle. It would be nice if there was like a cage that had like a nice full-sized plate, but also the first party grip receiver, like if it was like inched forward or something or other, but we don't have that right now. So I had to do all this giant work around here. Oh, and by the way, this grip converter system, this is the SmallRig equivalent. I've seen some from, they got SmallRig and you got Tilta, and there's other ones that are actually connected to like rosette arms, which I didn't want to go for right now because at the current moment I just utilize the grip here. And if at any point I have to get a rosette arm, I mean, I already have the converter, so I'll just put that on the arm. But this was the solution that was appropriate for me. I do wish there was some type of way that you could rotate the rosette on this more easily, because if you wanted to move it, you have to take off the handle, undo the screw, and then adjust the rosette, as opposed to sometimes where you just undo a latch, just and then turn it like you need. Yeah, I will say this is pretty sturdy. It takes a little bit of adjusting to like get it to be like fully locked in, but once you do, it's you hear that? For the most part, it's pretty sturdy. Like, I could tighten this further, but I don't need to right now. And then on the side, classic Deity time code. It's lifesaver, love it. Never gonna stop singing the praises of time code. And then I've got my Accsoon Cineview HE. You would think that because I moved to a camera that has SDI and whatnot, I would have an SDI transmitter receiver. Nope. This guy still continues to do the job. It is fantastic. And I enjoyed like being able to power it off USB-C, it's fantastic. No more batteries. That's the big thing. Like I talked about in my previous video about my Top Gear of 2024. If we shift over to the back here, V-mount batteries. Being able to power everything off this one battery is fantastic. As far as this battery goes, right now I'm using the ZG Cine S200. In the future, I might look towards some either Anton battery or Core SWX options for safety and reliability. And speaking of what this battery is connected to, you saw that was a lot of effort. I'm currently using the Kondor Blue Pro battery plate. Now, this battery plate is elusive, and this battery plate I think is like one of the best that you can get as far as ports and build quality, and also just like usability, because you have 2 bi-directional D-taps, you've got dual 100-watt USB-C power deliveries, you've got 8 and 12-volt barrel connectors, and of course, you've got a kill switch on the side here, which is pretty nice. And when it's not powered anything, I just like to treat it like a little fidget toy. Anyway, the only thing I don't really care for about this plate, and it's a double-edged, like, yes, it's really good, but it's also kind of annoying that the tolerance to actually put a battery on is crazy tight. Like, watch this. So if I put it on, boom, it's on there. But taking it off is, it needs some effort, which it means your battery's more than likely not going to slip off. This guy is in there for a remount, which is really good. But sometimes you're trying to handle it's like really frustrating to be like, it's really tight. And then as far as connecting the battery plate here, I've got these SmallRig carbon fiber rods. I got these at some point forever ago. I don't even know if you can still buy these. You probably can. It's little short carbon fiber rods, but 15mm rods are a dime a dozen, so you just get the appropriate length. Monitor arm, just a simple SmallRig arm. I do want to get one of the more sturdy ones that has locating pin and a quick release system, kind of like the SmallRig Hawklock Magic arms, because that way it'd be a lot more convenient and easy to just like boop boop, take it right off, put it on like it's nothing. And then as far as media, wow, that just shot right out. As far as media, I'm rocking the OWC 480 gig CF Express Type A. These things are like really good. I had seen some data speed comparisons about how CF Express works in comparison to CF Express Type B, and it seems on paper that CF Express Type B is faster, but like maybe it's because of the memory card reader that I got. But you would think, like, I have a CF Express Type B reader from SanDisk, and you would think it's got pretty good performance. And then for my CF Express Type A, I've got a Lexar card reader, and the CF Express Type B, like, read and write performance in your offloading computer is nowhere near as good as the CF Express Type A performance, because I can offload like about a 200 gig drop from this in about maybe 5 minutes, but that same thing on CF Express Type B takes like 15 to 20. So I'm just wondering what that is. Granted, all of this is significantly faster than SD cards, but yeah, these little cards are reliable. I didn't want to spend the money on first party cards like the Sony Tufts and whatnot, because that would be ridiculously expensive. And I didn't want to pick anything that was unreliable, and OWC is a super reliable memory card brand, because they're not just memory cards, they also do like SSDs for computers and stuff, which they're reliable, they're trusty. So I trust OWC. And as far as cabling, we have a bunch of Kondor Blue cables all over the place. Like, that's pretty much the only cables I'm running here. I've got a Kondor Blue D-tap to dummy battery for the monitor here. Got Kondor Blue HDMI, got Kondor Blue, another HDMI from receiver, from transmitter to camera, and then Deity timecode cables. Still random off-brand USB-C. It's because I wanted specifically a right angle so it doesn't stick out too far here. And yeah, this is the rig. I gotta say, it is weighty. I haven't actually put it on a scale just to see how much it weighs, but yeah, you feel it when your hand holding it. All right, so bonus portion. This is the rig when I have my vintage lenses attached. So right now, still this matte box, but I got my vintage Nikon 55 1.2 on, and I've got the SmallRig F40 follow focus. Now, this has been a pretty reliable follow focus, but I do know that sometimes if you really like crank it, you can kind of go off the rails here, but that's only if I'm doing like a real hard, yeah, I'm not gonna focus that hard, but also might be necessary. So this might not be the option for everyone, but for most of what I'm doing, this has been pretty reliable. And then as far as the adapter, so I've converted the Nikon mount to Canon EF with an earth adapter. And then as far as adapter to camera, I'm using the K&F Concepts Pro EF to E adapter. I was really skeptical about which adapter to go with because you really don't want it to have play when you're trying to rack focus with these lenses because you'll see that image shift. I've dealt with that on the Pocket 4K for quite some time. I was really sick of it. But this is really rock solid. It was only like $40. This is a fantastic adapter. Yeah, sure, I could go with like a Metabones locking EF, but I didn't really feel like that right now. And I made a safe choice here. Like, this is rock solid. And it gives me confidence that when I'm using my vintage lenses, it's not going to go anywhere. Now, I will say, you do have to be mindful of if you're doing double conversions where, like, in this case, I'm changing from Nikon F to Canon EF, you have to be careful of which adapter you're using there, because on this, I'm using the Earth F to EF, and it's rock solid with this adapter. But then on, like, this lens, I'm using the Photodiox F to EF, and it's got a little bit of play in it, in which case it's not as rock solid on there. So over time, I'm going to be changing all of my F to EFs to Earth because that is way more solid and reliable. You can also feel a build quality difference. Like, that is super, super solid. And yeah, I really do enjoy the quality, and it's not that expensive. I think they were like maybe $30 a pop, and I only have 6 lenses to adapt, so no big deal for me. All right, and that's my FX6 build. If you guys like what you saw here, make sure you drop a like and comment below. Tell me what you've got going on with your camera rigs, whether it be an FX6 or any other camera build. If you're an FX6 user, tell me about what you've got going on with this side monitor here and how you're like managing it. And if you're have any good monitor recommendations, because I'm certainly in the market for that. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching. You guys are really helpful in supporting the channel, and make sure please that you subscribe to help us grow to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer every day, and I want you, of course, to all stay tuned for what kind of upcoming filmmaking content we've got going on. A big one coming up is me sharing my color grading process and how that works and what it looks like. I wanted to share that for a long time, but I wanted to get it refined before I share it with you guys, and we're here. It's here. So be on the lookout for that. It's coming up. But yeah, that's doing it for us, and we'll see you guys in the next one.